Hey, welcome to the Backwoods Gourmet, live on location here in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, Cades Cove. Coming to be one of me and Mrs. Backwoods' favorite campgrounds. The place is a lot fuller this time than it was a couple years ago when we came here. There was hardly no one here, and it's in the middle of the week too. But as you know, with the COVID situation, a lot of people have discovered camping, and I'm hoping that some of those people that have just discovered camping tune in to our show to watch some more basic stuff, especially when it comes to camp cooking. And that's what we're going to do today. A very simple dish. It's going to be very delicious with only a few ingredients, and all you're going to need is some good old coals and a 10-inch camp Dutch oven. So we've had a great trip so far. This is going to be our fourth night on this week-long, actually 9-day-long trip from Florida all the way through the mountains here in Georgia, Tennessee, and North Carolina. We spent a little time in North Carolina today. Hopefully I'll roll you a few clips up here. Some of the great scenery we've seen, and the leaves are changing. It's me and Mrs. Backwoods' favorite time to come up here. And we've had a really good time, and we've stayed off the road, and we've tried a primitive camp. But once you get inside the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, you can't camp just anywhere you want to. You're going to have to stay in a designated campsite, and there's only really two. There's one over here on the western side. This is Cades Cove, where we're at. If you're in an RV, you can camp right kind of in the middle, and that's at Elkmont. And there's another one over on the eastern side. So we're going to be heading across there tomorrow, and we're going to go through the Smoky Mountains National Park and end up at a place I think called Balsam Gap. But that's for tomorrow, so let's get after what you're going to need to make tonight's dish. Okay, so what we're making tonight is a braised pork chops with veggies. We got some boneless center cut pork chops. I would use bone in. Here, when we're camping in bear country, we don't have any place to put those bones a lot of times, so I don't get them with the bones in them, and I know they're better. I know they're better, guys. So if you're not camping in bear country, go ahead and get ones with the bones. Got a half of a sweet onion. I got some bacon there. We picked that up along the way here. Carol's Applewood smoked bacon. Got some green cabbage. I got a couple of zucchinis I need to use. Optional ingredient. Some seasoning. Of course, we're going to use our favorite Seminole Swamp season, Fire in the Swamp. I got a little cornstarch to help thicken it all up at the end. And if you might, I might use a little bit, depending on how much broth we have, a little bit of chicken broth right at the end. Alright, so we got about half a chimney of charcoal going there right now. And I'm going to use what I like to call the Backwoods Gourmet one-line method. And this is how I start out all my braises to help that bottom temperature stay nice and hot while you're doing the searing part, because you can move the Dutch oven over as it gets hot. So let's go over to the table and grab that Dutch oven real quick. We'll take the lid off of her. Bring her right over. Set her on one side. Let that bottom start getting nice and hot. Then we'll put some oil in it. Okay, so I'm going to start out cutting my veg real quick. I did bring some of these high barrier bags, the things that are smelly because they don't leach through the plastic. They say everything in your cooler. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut these kind of thick. Just a half a sweet onion. Alright, put that over on our plate. Alright, we got green cabbage here. We'll clean that up just a little bit. Take some of those outer leaves off. This guy's been riding around with us unrefrigerated, but that's no problem because this hasn't been out of hardly the 50s since we've been out here. And we're going to cut that pretty thin. And of course, the loudest diesel truck in all of Cades has got to come by right now. Alright, let's put that on our plate. Now we're going to do at least one of these zooks. But we're going to save them on a different plate because they're not going to go in until toward the end. Find a spot. And I'm using my DALSTRONG Crisix chef knife. If you'd like to check out their products, they make some great knives. I'm going to leave you a link down in the description box below where you'll automatically get a 10% discount off of anything you buy, no promo code needed. If you use that link, anything you decide you might want to try out, and they have, I mean, dozens and dozens of different styles and types of knives, but this has been a great one. This one's a Crisix. I really like it for all around chopping like this. Alright, so we're going to bring out our pork choppies, and if you guys have tried these before, you know they can be kind of dry. So that's the whole reason for this braise. We'll go ahead and just season those really well. And we got hikers coming by. So Cabela's guarding camp here. Give them a pretty good rub. Now this is going to, you know, that's all going to break down this braise with everything else. So don't worry about getting too much on them. You know, they're going to get some liquid on them. That's going to go out through the deal. And just to get everything started and get some nice flavor going in the dish, I'm going to go ahead and take about 2 slices of this thick cut bacon. Actually they call this their regular slice. In the grocery store, this would be thick slice. If you want their thick slice, it's like 1/4 inch thick. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get the Dutch oven started with that bacon. Alright, so got our bacon ready. Let's walk on over here to the Dutch oven. Been preheating about 5 minutes while I've been yapping. Go ahead and put that on in there. Hear that sizzle going. Now, I'm using my little rack and I'm making a mess. I'm trying to level it, but that was kind of a fail. Got some gravel here, but alright. Let's pick them up, put them back on there. Now this is some crappy dollar store charcoal. That's all I could find. But anyway, hopefully it'll get the job done. You're not always going to have level spots to do your camping, do your cooking. Fire pit's even worse, so I might try to drag that around a little bit, find a little bit more level spot. And with this camp rack, I can just grab my Dutch oven lifter, grab underneath the rack here, hopefully somewhere. Just carefully move it. And I'm looking at that oil, see when it doesn't go downhill anymore, but that may be a tall order, I don't know. A little better. So if you want to see how we made this rack and this plate, please subscribe to our channel. Go to the channel page, click on videos, or click on the playlist for Dutch oven cooking, and you can find how I made this plate that we use. Fits every standard picnic or camp grill that I've found so far anywhere, at least in the southeast United States. Alright folks, well, it's hard enough to do this out here camping it's really even harder to do it while filming. But we got that bacon kind of crisped up a little bit. We'll go ahead and dump the chops. And see, I splattered the lens with grease. Great. Alright folks, well sometimes that's how you save it. We did manage to get them braised off. Okay, but the charcoal we had just couldn't hold up to the temperatures, the wind, and the fact that it was cheap. Dollar store. Only stuff I can find from Dollar General is the only store out here in the middle of woods. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the Dutch oven over here on this very leaning grill. Alright, so you got the thing back over the campfire, sorta, with my angled, very angled grill. You hear that going in there pretty good. Just gonna go ahead and dump all of our veg right on in there. I'm not gonna be able to do it on charcoal. I'm gonna kind of bring the pork chops up, push the veggie down. I'm gonna have to monitor that really good. It's too hot right now. But what we're gonna do is let that start to get going, because that moisture from that all is gonna come out and that fire is gonna burn down. So we'll just keep an eye on in here. So I just pulled off the fire. It was going really good. Some of the cabbage is starting to brown. So I'm gonna go ahead, just deglaze the pot. Put about a cup of water in there. And then we'll set it back over on the fire. Is now burning down a little bit. That's good. I'll kind of keep it out here over the middle. We'll just keep an eye on it. Improvise, overcome, and adapt, like Gunny Highway said. I think it's about time to put in the zucchini. Oh, that's looking pretty awesome actually. It's cooked down, nice colors come up from the braise. Pork chops are starting to get tender. Probably the best we're going to get. Go ahead and dump our zooks. Give that just a couple minutes for them guys to tender up. It's cooking perfect right now. It's gonna be good. I hope you guys have been enjoying this little trip. It's going to be several episodes. I hope you'll subscribe to our channel. Go hit that hit the channel page, hit the videos tab. You'll be able to see everything that we recorded on this trip. We've been planning this for quite a while. So I just had this conversation, and we're, what, 3 days in? Mm-hmm. 3 days in. We've been off-road and primitive camping now for 2 of the 3 days. This is our 3rd night, actually, primitive camping. And I asked Miss Backwoods, I'm like, so our trip so far, what do you think the biggest wins have been and the biggest fails have been? So what do you think?
Oh,
for you?
See, the biggest wins was 1, being able to go on this vacation, 2, seeing all the colors, watching you get your enjoyment out of off-roading, traveling with my best companions here, and Cabela's right here. She's buried down here, just trying to keep warm. Let's see, and fails, I think that was a Gaia problem.
Alright, so biggest wins and fails for me, yeah, biggest win being able to come on this trip and and bring you guys along. That was my biggest win of the whole thing, is to let you guys there at home that maybe can't get out and do this kind of thing, to bring you guys into what we're doing and maybe show you a little stuff along the way. The other win for me is just getting off the beaten path. That's probably number 2 win for me. We have tried to stay off the pavement this whole trip as much as possible. And like I said, we use Gaia, the app, to try to plan the trip. And we went down some stuff, you know, that I've never been on, and we didn't pass. The only people we seen out there was deer hunters, right? I mean,
there were and their dogs.
Deer hunters and dogs. I mean, we're out there in the woods, and you know, we've been here to the Smoky Mountains on several times, and I've been here several times in my lifetime, but we always stayed on the paved roads, and you really don't see the mountains like you do from the paved roads, like you do when you get off in the back country and choose some of those dirt and gravel roads. We didn't hit anything that, you know, probably a capable two-wheel drive truck couldn't get down through. But so far we hadn't done any serious four-wheeling, and we're by ourselves, so we've kind of, you know, if we'd have been with more people, we might have tried a few different trails. But when you're out here by yourself, even when you have as capable a vehicle as the Tundra is with the winch, and you know, we got all the recovery gear, and I planned for all that, maybe you know, you wouldn't want to try to do that by yourself, because if you do get stranded out here, all we got is a couple of GMSR radios, and there's no cell coverage out here hardly at all. Even here in Cades Cove, right in the middle of Smoky Mountains National Park, where we are now. The other wins is just like she said, seeing the sights from where most of the tourists don't go. I mean, obviously we're in a tourist trap right here now at Cades Cove, but this time of year it's not too bad, and we're just kind of passing through this area. So tomorrow we're gonna try to get off this, go over the mountain, and get over in the North Carolina side and see some more of that, you know, the wilderness kind of side of things that a lot of people don't get to see. The other big win for me is just being out here with Sylvia and Cabela, and doing the cooking and filming, and you know, the stuff I enjoy to do, and bring it to you guys and share it with you guys. And we've eaten pretty daggum good every night, haven't we?
Yeah.
And we got up every morning and made breakfast, and to head out for a day. So that's been a big win for me too. Getting to fails.
But wait a minute, you know, you did forget to mention one thing, that we could not get into the other 2 campsites,
right,
because of the bear activity.
Right. So yeah, we did. Cades Cove was kind of, I wanted to try to find a campsite before we got here to Cades Cove, where it's just like a lot of more people and stuff. But we went to 2 other campsites, and both of them were closed due to high bear activity. So I wish we kind of got in those, because they're more off the beaten path where tourists go and stuff like that. But anyway, so that could kind of go into the fail category, that we weren't able to get into the places where the alternate campgrounds where I really did want to go. A long time here. Okay, fails is apparently we left an entire box of stuff that we had packed that had some of the things in it that I needed: extra propane, a tripod for the Dutch oven, things I wanted to really do, but we've had to improvise, overcome, and adapt, and we've had to stop and resupply a little bit on the way, and the only thing we found really is Dollar General, and you know, other places we were trying to rush to get here before dark and set up for you guys so we could film this for you. Other fails, there's really none. I mean, the truck's been performing awesome. We've stopped and fueled up every time we've had a chance. Her probably only fails is I've probably been farting too much for her inside the cab back here. But we forgot that in the wind category. Sleeping up in the back of the cab at night, even though it gotten down into the 40s, has been really, really nice. And Mrs. Backwoods has been doing an awesome job of setting up what we call the nest back in here in the back of the tundra, and it's been very comfortable. I've slept like a rock for the most part in there, and so we're having a great time. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. We're fixing to get out there, and you probably bored you to death on this part of the video, but anyway, we're going to get out there and we'll pull that Dutch oven off of that campfire, and we're going to serve it up for you guys and let you take a look at it, and we're going to give it a taste test. So don't click nothing. All right, folks, time to eat. Just go ahead and pull that lid off. Whew. Nice and steaming hot. Put this up. Go ahead and serve this up. Whew. So let's go ahead and give this a try. It's nice and steaming hot. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. So if you're just starting out with camping, overlanding, whatever you're doing, get you one of them Dutch ovens, learn how to use it. You'll eat good every time, I promise. So if you like what we're doing, please smash that like button right down there. To subscribe to our channel, you can do it right over here. For another great Backwoods Gourmet video, it's gonna be right there. And for a whole playlist, cast iron and Dutch oven cooking, gonna be right up there. We'll see you next time.